It's time we talk about the police in the Crew Motorfest. Because yes, this next update coming November in the Crew is going to be a police-based update. And this time around, it seems to be, at least, it's a weird one. Would you consider it closer or further than the police we got before? This is what we had previously. It was called the Vault Interception Units. We got a few cars with this, like the Dodge and the Mustang, and there's some Japanese ones and a few others. And then we also got, with the Interception Units, the Enforcer Units, which were the off-road variations of these cars. And the first "these are not police" thing shows up pretty quick. It's the lights. Those are red and orange lights. Red and orange, in America at least, is the security light color scheme. You know, because you're not allowed to have red and blue, because that would be impersonating, so you have red and orange to still signify that you're security for a private property or person. And the law here, the context, was we were hired by a vault company, a bank of some sort, to protect the stuff in there. Well, actually, technically, instead we were actually hired by a movie company to have these vehicles as, well, props in a movie about protecting a bank vault. Look, they did everything in their power to make sure that we couldn't really say we had a police update. I wonder why. I wonder why. Yes, I know Toyota wasn't in the Crew 2, but it's in Motorfest, and well, Toyota's not the only brand that acts in those mysterious ways. It's why I'm actually really shocked that we're getting this police update with the red and blue lights, because it seems like it's actually police. Almost. So these are your two competitors. Cars that look a lot like police cars. In fact, you can tell by my liveries, each and every single one has a proper police livery on it. A lot of them are the Honolulu police, just for sake of theme and local theme. But, you know, some of them I've got a Japanese police car. Because these things, although they have the red and orange lights, they are very easy to be retooled, repurposed as a different theme, because they just look like police cars. Now we have actual police. They look like this. They are insanely over the top, neon pulsating cat vs dog police. They have red and blue lights, which is obviously the real police color, but they just aren't really police, unfortunately, because, well, I guess licenses, right? They're over the top, and sure, maybe if the game just had Ford, Lycan, maybe even Porsche, given they made one, and these cars, maybe we would have gotten actual police, but in this situation, we've got these chase squads. They do have the real colors, and they're ultra-themed police, but which feel more like police to you? But yes, welcome, my name is Sid, and head down there and subscribe, not only to check out more content breaking down the update and checking out the update. If it's like normal ones, I will have it early, but no, don't just subscribe for that. Subscribe because we are barreling our way to 100,000 subscribers, and you can be a part of that to get the play button right there. Right there. And today, I'm not just gonna sit here and be like, oh, so are they police or are they not? I'm here to break it all down. This is the Chase Squad playlist. The police playlist coming in November. And we actually know a fair bit of information about it. In fact, we also know that these police cars, this playlist, features with the playlist, are all gonna be locked behind a paywall. So let's start with that. The paywall is the Year 2 pass. Now, we still don't know the price of the Year 2 pass. We know it'll be included in newer editions of the Crew Motorfest. I've got a video breaking it down if you need it. But what we do know is that it's going to be one monthly car this time instead. And that's because 7 of the 20 cars are bulk dropped in the Chase Squad update. With all of these are all in the Year 2 pass through the playlist. Playlist is in the Year 2 pass. Now, I had confirmed from Ivory Tower, just to get rid of confusion, that yes, you will have to get these cars from the playlist in the Year 2 pass. And I also got confirmed that one of those cars you'll unlock immediately. So presumably, that's the car for the playlist. That's why it's called a new exclusive playlist, or a premium PvE experience, as they called it. Now, you can leave all of your thoughts on that in the comments. Let's break down the playlist as we do that, though. So, this, presumably, I would hope is the first event, because it looks very boring. Even when I was reacting to it live on the showcase, there was the hype of there being police, and then it was like, oh, well, this looks unenjoyable. But this, presumably, would only be the first event of the playlist, which, sure. Day 1, training. We got target smash. Oh, there's 2 training events? There's 2 training events? Oh, no. Playlists are supposed to be a cohesive experience, so it makes sense to begin with, like, a training event, right? And you get to drive the Audi RS6 Avant. Now, I don't believe we know which of the cars you unlock immediately for the playlist. It could be this, it could be the Ogmois, it could be any of them, truly. Next, we move on to a different event, and this seems to be the first of the chase events, because we have that brand new UI. And that UI is something a little interesting. Let's watch. Because they explain...
So go after him. Try to get me, puppy dog. Initiate the tail. Stay close, but no contact. Do not engage.
You do not engage with the car with this menu up there. That UI, playing at the top there, is a point-based system, and it's got red on both sides as well, so, like, I guess, yeah, you just have to stay a certain distance. How in the Ubisoft have they put tailing missions? What in the Ubisoft game design? Out of tailing missions? Man, what am I playing? What am I playing? Assassin's Creed Black Flag? The return of tailing missions in a AAA racing game in 2024 was not something I thought I would see. Especially when it's another can't get too close, can't get too far type of tailing mission. But don't worry, we do seem to be able to chase them at some point. You see at the bottom right there, you have people. Here's my worry. Is the timer right up there? That says 2 minutes. That says 2 minutes. 2 minutes of chasing? Now, to be fair, I hope that's just one of the event types. I hope that's just one of the few event types in the playlist, and we do actually just get like a raw chasing event type. But I do kind of understand it. Hear me out. I almost kind of understand it. We don't really know how many events this playlist is gonna have, but if it's the same amount as a regular playlist, presumably, if it's a bunch of chasing missions, which, to be fair, we know it isn't, if the chasing missions were that quick, wouldn't be able to fill out a whole playlist. And that's genuinely what I think is a part of it, is that, you know, you need a playlist to be an hour-long-ish experience, so the chase events can't exactly be immediately chasing, and what if someone does it really well? But there's also another issue that I think is prevalent here. The police cars in the crew are rather notorious. If you are a newer to the Crew 2 or to the Crew Motorfest player, you might not know that these cars are famous for being the most overpowered money-grinding vehicle events in the game. And I think there's also a chance Ivory Tower might want to avoid that. Now, this is all on the assumption that we don't have regular chase events. Hopefully, we do get some regular chase events, but let's continue looking through the playlist. So now, how do I know that you do at least get to chase here? Well, because it's clearly the same event. You can tell by it being the same road. Boom. Vibe changes, UI changes, and now we're actually bashing into the player with other police chasing them as well. Okay, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that to be... I guess those were the people who are waiting at the change. But, you know, we're like 3 minutes into this event now. Makes the events feel a bit more full, I guess. It just might not be the most enjoyable way of doing so. So, I hope that, you know... Let me brainstorm. Well, we're arresting him here. It took 1.5 minutes. But what if... Right? What if we're chasing like 3 people? That would take definitely upwards of like 5 minutes. Oh, and they're racing, and it's like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit? Okay, now I'm just gassing myself up because there's not really actually I'm not like exactly saying, oh, they're gonna do this. I'm just saying, God, that would be cool. Then we move on to a different event in a different car. This time, the Ivory Tower Ogmois, but in the Chase Squad variant. And this one seems to be a follow the photos mission. The missions, the races, where you don't have a map, instead you have photographs of the environment and the area, signifying when you're supposed to turn. We also know that just like how these are old school photos, they do also uniquely update the type of photos you follow, where these ones are actually film reels to match the film aesthetic, and quite uniquely, this one seems to be the helicopter ahead of you, sending you the images as you drive. I think that's a pretty cool, unique context, and you see the ticks going on the images just like they do in the Follow the Photos missions. Very cool idea, very interesting thing to do, and we also, just like the old school playlist, this seems to be throughout all the playlists and in the open world with the police cars. They have a unique UI, the dash here, and same with the map in other events, and interestingly, the same in the open world. So what I'm hoping Ivory Tower could retroactively go back and add the UI from the old school events to old school cars based on the period that car is from. Maybe put it in the settings or something if you want to have that feature on or not. Saying Ivory Tower. Now we're getting some lore on the actual playlist here, and the thing is this lore seems to connect to Made in Japan, because we saw some of the names she's about to mention in the Made in Japan section of the showcase, but I'll have a specific breakdown on that playlist.
You a bit more about our opponents, the Cats. They're street racers who've recently joined the festival. We're dealing with 4 different groups: the Night Stalkers, the Quick Whiskers, the Diamond Fangs, and the Clawblades. Each group is composed of skilled street racers and led by their best driver, the Chief. Imagine if the two of us catch one of these cats during our first night out.
So, the cat-themed enemies to the dog-themed police. Those are the gangs, I suppose. And then we're in a different event, because the UI has changed. We got progression up there now, we got this over there, but there is also a chance that this is the same event, just at the end of the Follow the Photos. I don't know, it could be anything. It's a new playlist, they are always adding different stuff, right? Maybe it's a Follow the Photos into a regular race, because we're still in the Ogmois. But this time we're in the tunnel system, with the Ogmois coming to the very end of an event, and we see a car drive past there. Now, I explained in a different video what I thought that was. We have a video of the police, the police chase, one of the events. Now, this one is in the city, like one of the Follow the Photos events that we saw, but instead this one seems to be a chase. However, the chase is already over, and it doesn't have any of the UI of the chase. So it must just be a race? Are you racing? It doesn't look like you're racing him because there's no UI indicating that. So what I think this is, mostly because of the fact that there's no UI indicating that that guy was an AI or a player or anything, I think it's this. I think it's that. For another example, here at the end of this road, when an AI is just added into the event as scenery, decoration. So for that specific event, it does not seem like we're actually chasing or interacting with the AI. Sure, we'll be able to hit them like you can with these AIs here, but this event is just, it's a looker, basically. It seems like a drive through the city. I could be wrong, it could be a new event type, I don't know, but that's just what it seems if we only go based on what's in the game currently. Speaking of, this is also going to carry over the same kind of issues of this kind of event, which is how those AIs, for some reason, they don't show up in the photo mode, which is really annoying. Could you fix that, the crew, please? Please. Next, a helicopter event, which is pretty cool. It's cool to get an event for the helicopter. I assume you'll be able to do this in the plane as well, and also, it's just nice to have a sky-based event that isn't 5 hours long. Anytime they put a plane event in the summit, it's always just annoyingly too long. They're all like 7 minutes event. And now finally, we have a sky-based event, which hopefully you can do in planes, which isn't like 7 minutes long. It's like 1:30. And then we have another chase event, this time against one of the gangs with the fireball. And we're in the Ivory Tower Azus this time, that police car. and boom, switches to the chase version, and you take out the cars. Now, it is so cool to not see demolition cars in this, and instead see actual cars that get bashed like this. There's some crazy shots like that. For me, some of the best are in the intro. I mean, just look at the takedown of the Ford GT here. Obviously, this just being a cutscene is unfortunate, but this ram from behind and the way, look at the way he goes flying. And there. If that's actually what happens in the event, crazy. Now, interestingly, the takedown of Furball seems to be the last event. Might not be, but again, we don't know what the first is. We don't know what the last is. These are just events that we saw. But we do know that then they switch to the next thing. And here's another thing. This is also paid only. First of all, we see a look at the actual playlist menu. We see Day 1, training. We got Target Smash, Target Smash. Oh, there's 2 training events? There's 2 training events? Oh, no. I hope there's like 5. I hope there's like 50 different events in total. Another thing to remind you of as well is that the skills and the challenges added in playlists, those are only available through playlists. So, presumably, if the playlist is paid, then so will be the side activities and challenges. So will be the challenge rewards. And, well, the skills and stuff. It's weird to have skills and stuff that are paid, right? But let's talk about the rival system. We have rivals are available in free drive. Intels will help you seek them and identify them. Once you've identified a rival, you can chase them through a fierce dynamic chase. Climb each squad's hierarchy to unlock its chief and obtain exclusive rewards. Beat all the chiefs to unlock the mystery driver. Let's look at this, because they show us a look at what this intel and tracking and stuff is. The intel is just where they are, what car they're in, as is behind me. Then you see them, you find them, there's an area, presumably where they would be, and then you're like, I don't know, look like you're about to fire a missile at them. And now once you spot them, you get 2 options. So here's the thing for the paid and unpaid. Because you can do this same thing in the Made in Japan playlist. You find them, you look like you're about to launch a missile at them, and then you get the option to chase or race. There you go. So presumably, you can race them through Made in Japan, but you will have to pay to be able to use the rivals and to chase them in the open world. But, you know, you do still then get to chase them in the open world. So that's also included in the Year 2 pass payment. And then you get the same finishes and whatnot. It took him 3 minutes. It took him 3 minutes in a hypercar to take down a street car? Might be a skill issue. And then, of course, if it wasn't clear already, the cars that we are getting are plentiful through the Chase Squad update. We've got a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. We've got a Lycan Hypersport, the custom Ivory Tower Ogmois, the Mustang Dark Horse, the custom Ivory Tower Azus, the Audi RS6 Avant, and the helicopter, as all vehicles included in the Year 2 pass. Those are your police cars available. So what do you think? What do you think of the police update? Will you be buying the Year 2 pass for it? Do you think it's worth it? What do you think about it being locked behind the paywall? Because I kind of get it. In fact, let me talk a little briefly about that. Let's talk about the fact that it's locked behind the paywall. Look, if you just wanted the breakdown, toodaloo, bye-bye, subscribe and whatnot, oh, in a bit, whatever. I want to actually talk about it, though. A paid playlist. Now, immediately, I was like, oh, would they do this one every update? It doesn't seem like it, unless they do it in a different system. Because this is included in the Year 2 pass, but after this, the Year 2 pass is going 1 a month. Instead of being like, oh, so you get 7 cars with a playlist every update that you pay for. Unless the other playlists are gonna be, like, Year 2... Unless the other playlists are just gonna give you 1 car? I don't know. Maybe. Technically 2, because... I don't know. It would add a lot more value to the Year 2 pass if you got them, like, you know, if you got a 3 playlists with it. I feel like 20 cars, 3 playlists, I think that might even start getting close to maybe worth the £40 price tag that they slap on it. 35. Then again, we don't actually know the price of the Year 2 pass yet, but then again, that is locking stuff behind a paywall. Here's the thing, the crew seem to be fully shifting gears. They are fully ditching FOMO. They are fully ditching limited time exclusive content, limited time summit cars, limited time main stage cars, limited time motor pass cars. They seem to be ditching that idea entirely for paid content instead. And it's kind of the lesser of the two evils. Because there's Forza, which has paid content. Oh, no, now that I think about it, Forza has paid content and FOMO. What the crew is doing is removing FOMO, using paid content to justify its removal, I guess. Or, well, you know, we had the Motor Pass before, but I don't think this stuff is going to be free eventually, like the Motor Pass was. So as much as, yes, for the people who will pay, it makes it so much worth it, but it takes away from the people who won't. What do I mean it takes away? We haven't heard anything about a 3rd playlist. We've heard nothing about a 3rd playlist. All we know is that the police playlist is Year 2 pass, and there's gonna be a Japan Volume 2 playlist. So, presumably, for the first month, the only playlist non-paying players will get is the Made in Japan Volume 2. Now, I hope there's another playlist in there somewhere for non-paying, but I guess they've done it this update because you're getting a whole island, you're getting the Rivals system, you're getting the no FOMO, the no fear of missing out, the no limited time content store where you can buy summit cars. You're getting good changes like the working mirrors. You're getting all of that stuff. I mean, the island. I could check in on the island. The island is massive. So because we're getting all of that, I think they've used that to justify being like, okay, look, there's this much content for free players. Let's put this chunk of it behind a paywall. Do you get it? Do you understand? I mean, look, I understand it. Does that justify it a little more? I'd understand if you're still like, grrr, paid content, but does that at least make a bit more sense? What I will say is if they do continue these and they're not adding a new island every update, it cannot be replacing a playlist. If paid playlists are to continue on updates without substantial content like this one, so like say they did a paid playlist during Hoonigan, Hollywood Action, or Lowrider v Donk, it should only ever be an added on playlist. Base playlist, volume 2, paid playlist. That's all I have to say. Realistically though, I still do kind of get it, but look, I hope there's an option to buy just the one car for the playlist, not receive the other 6 cars from the playlist, the police cars, for like £5, right? Is that still much? That's like £5 for like 4 hours if you count the challenges and the we don't know how long the rivals will take yet. I think £5 could be justifiable. Maybe $7.99 if it's got the stuff like the rivals and stuff, and then £5 for a playlist if it's more simple, if they continue this idea. But I do hope that there's an ability to buy just the one car, not receive the other cars, just so you can at least get to play the playlist and play the rivals and stuff. At that point, I don't know, at that point. And well, realistically, I kind of just want, hear me out, a battle pass in the game. Is that terrible of me? Look, that's the crew 2 in me talking. But I do have some ideas on how a battle pass could be done really well. So maybe let me know if you want to see a video of me going through not only that idea, but a few different ideas that I have that maybe they could do instead of a paid playlist. Let me just give you the little rundown first, though. Add a battle pass, give it a bunch of challenges and stuff. Link the challenges to the PvP specifically, the grand race, the whatever. Give it a 4 months worth of grinding rather than just the main stage, and do it this way. Put the progression system, put the challenges, put the vehicle rewards, like 4 vehicles in the battle pass. Sure, add them every update, sure, but keep them in game, because we don't do FOMO anymore, crew. Keep them in game. You scroll down, there's the pass system. It'll obviously have its own goofy name that you guys decide. the gear pass, the motor gear story, the but then leave them in the game for anyone to purchase whenever. So like you just scroll down and there's a whole roster of them, and you can pick them up and then do them whenever you want. And then if you buy more than one, you can do them simultaneously. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like someone could come in and just drop money on all of the battle passes and then do them simultaneously, or more realistically. But they, you know, they'd be unlocking so many rewards at the same time, right? They'd be doing four or five motor passes, battle passes at the same time. Or more, yeah, like more realistically, they could buy one at a time and do it better for themselves. But it would be cool to scroll down and have them all in here if they did do a battle pass system. But I don't know if they will. But there you go. Thank you to popular members, especially thanks to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members. We don't have any. Become a star member. And an insane top of the top thank you to icon members, HK. I will see you boys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. In a bit.